Well, hello, Realtor friends, and welcome to this webcast. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Eric Thompson. I am president of Windermere Real Estate here in Colorado. This is a webcast that I put together called Consumer Insights. We're going to have some fun with a report that Zillow put together. We're going to walk through kind of the highlights of that report to help you be even better in your business. There's some really good stuff in this report, and I want to give you the highlights. One thing you should make note of is my email is right there on the screen. If you have any questions about any of this, if you want to talk about this further, if you want to see the full report, reach out to me by email. I'd be happy to help you out. Just real quick, a little bit about our company, Windermere Real Estate. Those are the states where we're located. We are growing all across Colorado. Today we have 5 offices in Colorado, and we're growing even further across the state. But let's get in to this report, okay? I want to give you some really good takeaways. They're going to help you out in your business. Again, all coming from this report that Zillow put together. So they put out this report at the end of 2016, and there's some really, really good stuff in this report. So I went through the whole thing and created this video based on the highlights that I found to be most interesting from this report. So a little bit about the report itself. The report itself, 164 pages long, so all kinds of stuff in here. They asked consumers 160 questions. What makes this report different than other ones that are out there, other things that I've seen and read and researched, is that not only did they talk to buyers and sellers and renters, but they also talked to homeowners. So some reports that are out there, like the NAR report, for instance, which is really, really good, NAR doesn't go talk to current homeowners. So Zillow went out and they talked to current homeowners, and there's one really interesting question that they asked that we'll talk about at the very end, so you want to stick around to the very end, and we'll be about 10 minutes together in this video, okay? All right, so here's the plan for our short time together in this video. What I'm going to do is I'm going to share with you the 5 fascinating facts coming out of this report, plus the one shocking truth. There's one thing that's really shocked me that I read about, and we're going to save that one till the end. And all these things are going to make you even better with your customers, okay? So that's the plan. So let's go through this together. So again, 5 facts. Let's go through the 5 facts. Fact number 1, millennials are different. Well, that's probably not going to be a surprise to you. There's all kinds of research and stories out there about how millennials are different. There's a lot of time spent in this actual report that Zillow did about millennials. I want to give you the highlights and some interesting things that they found about millennials. So yes, they are different. We all know that. But a lot of the stereotypes just aren't true. So a lot of the stereotypes that we think may be true about millennials that we read about, this report shows that they are not necessarily true. So here's the deal with millennials. We need to know that half of all buyers today are under the age of 36. So half of all buyers are millennials. Also interesting to note that if you're 36 or younger, you fall into that category. The thing with millennials, they're much more likely to scrutinize, right? Much more likely to really scrutinize the information, also more likely to talk to more than one realtor. We'll show you more about that in a second, but we need to know up front that they're much more likely to scrutinize information because they know how to access information. They're really good at getting to the answer. So they're more likely to scrutinize anything you tell them. They're highly collaborative when it comes to making a decision. So they call on all their resources, they tap into their social networks, they use social media, they use other tools to tap into their networks to help make decisions. So they don't just rely on maybe just family or just friends. They really tap into their full network for them to make decisions. A couple other things about millennials. They are highly, highly likely to turn to the agent for advice after the transaction. So maybe they want to know about a contractor, who can help me with a remodel, who can help me with my landscaping, who's someone good to help me get my walk shoveled. They're even more likely than the average consumer to turn to the agent for help with those things. That, of course, is good news because they're also highly likely to refer. So the great news is once we win these people over, once we show that we are a trusted advisor, that we're a strategic partner, they are really likely to refer us to their friends and family. That is fantastic about millennials. So a lot of you, I'm guessing, have seen the show Mythbusters. I love that show. So a few myths to bust about millennials. One is we may all think that they all are living in real hip urban downtown areas, and they're walking to the coffee shops and and that kind of thing. Well, that's true for some, but you know what? Half of all millennials live in suburban areas. I thought that was an interesting myth to bust. Another one that was busted through this report is how they like to communicate. So I think there's kind of a mindset out there. There's a stereotype that all millennials, all they do is text. Well, they were asked the question, how would you most like to communicate with your realtor? The number one answer was on the phone. So when it comes to real estate and the real estate transaction, the way that they want to communicate with you, the realtor, number one is by phone. Second is in person. Third is email. Fourth is text. So text fell last on this list in terms of how they like to communicate with their realtor. I found this interesting, but also really not that surprising when it comes to something as important, really as emotional as the real estate transaction. They want to have some live interaction. They want to have some live conversation. They want to be on the phone. They want to be face-to-face. Okay, so that was all about fact number one, millennials, a lot of time spent on that. A few other quick ones. Fact two relates to open houses. This is pretty interesting to look at. 71% of all buyers visit an open house at some point during the process. This is even higher than the NAR number that they put out. So what this tells me is, you know what, you just have to be world-class at open houses. Commit to open houses. They're out there not only shopping for a realtor, they're also shopping for a home. They're also shopping for a realtor. So commit to being really great at open houses. By the way, I have a really great open house training, some steps and checklists I can walk you through. Reach out to me by email if I can help you with that. But 71% of all buyers visit an open house at some point during the process. Fact three, new homes. How about this? 48% of all buyers consider a new home during the purchase process. So this was higher than I would have guessed. This is about half of all buyers would consider a new home. The takeaway here is don't forget about new homes when we're talking to buyers. Don't forget about mentioning new homes, showing your customers new homes, taking them out to models, showing them summaries of new home communities that fit their criteria. Don't forget to walk them through how you can help them buy a new home and the value that you add there. They take it for granted. They think that, well, maybe I don't need my realtor when I buy a new home. There's already an agent on site. Be sure that you walk them through how you help them buy a new home. Look at this. This is based on age, how likely people are to desire a new home, to consider a new home. So you can see it's in those younger categories where they're scoring higher. So either half or a little bit over half of the younger generations consider a new home. It kind of falls off the older you get. So with the younger folks, be even more tuned in to this fact, but just know that 48% of all buyers would consider a new home. How about fact number four? Fact number four is that when it comes to communicating, when it comes to the preferred choice for communication, phone calls win. Phone calls win over anything else. So look at this information, look at this data that Zillow put together. They asked all consumers, how would you most like to communicate with your realtor? And you can see on here that far and away, phone call is the most desirable way, most popular way to communicate with the realtor. So don't just rely on email, don't just rely on text, don't assume that everyone today wants to text. Phone call is most popular, in person is second, email's third, texting is fourth. So not just for millennials, but for all generations. Someone in our office said it really well. I think it was a really good strategy. She said, you know what, I use text to have that lead to a phone call. I use texting to set up the phone call. I use text as the first step to get on the phone so that we can have a live dialogue, so that they can hear the inflection in my voice and I can hear how they're reacting to the things that I tell them. So let's not only rely on text, let's remember that customers want to hear from us live. They want to be in person, either on the phone or face-to-face. Okay, how about number five? Fact number five, this one was striking to me as I learned about this from the Zillow report. Consumers shop around. And the younger the customer, the more likely they are to shop around, the more likely they are to consider another realtor. Let's keep that in mind. So look at this information here, look at this data. So almost 2/3 of all millennials consider using more than one agent. So it's so important that we're showing up like no one else, that we're demonstrating our value, we're clarifying how we help someone out during the process. The older generations, they're going to be much less likely to shop around. You know, maybe by then they've already come up with their trusted go-to realtor, so only 1/3 of them are going to consider more than one agent, but 2/3 of millennials will consider using more than one agent. So just know that we really have to demonstrate our value to have that consumer engage with us. Okay, those were the 5 facts. How about this? The one shocking truth. The one shocking truth that came out of this Zillow report. It shocked me when I read it. This is both heartbreaking and also, frankly, it's an opportunity for us to consider, and it's something that we need to know about. So here's the shocking truth. Homeowners were asked the question. They were asked the question, does your agent stay in regular contact with you? So remember, Zillow went out to existing homeowners, people that have been in their home for quite some time. They were asked the very simple question, hey, does your agent stay in regular contact with you? What would you guess? What would you guess the answer to this question to be? What percent of homeowners said, oh yeah, my agent does stay in regular contact with me? Take a stab. Anytime I've asked a live audience this question, they always end up with a higher percentage than the truth. Here's the truth. This is the shocking truth. The shocking truth is 6%. 6% of all homeowners said that their agent stays in regular contact with them. Again, this is both heartbreaking, as a realtor, as someone who's so proud of the realtor brand, this is heartbreaking, and it's also an opportunity when you look at all the consumers that are out there. They're looking for people who will stay engaged with them, that will follow up, that will continue to be the source of information. 94% of people are looking for a great realtor to do that. That is an opportunity. So the shocking truth is both a sad state of affairs and an amazing opportunity when you look at that 6%. So that's it. Those are the 5 fascinating facts and the one shocking truth coming out of the Zillow report. Again, if you have any questions, comments, feedback about this video, send me an email. You have my email address right there on the screen. If you want to see the full-blown report, all 164 pages, I can send it to you. I'm sure also you could go to the Zillow website to find it. Thank you so much for watching and engaging, and I hope to see you soon.